All right, everyone, just a quick one. If you've been listening to the pod recently, you know that I've been balls deep in my boxing training and my body is starting to feel absolutely cooked. So to keep myself moving and not feel like I've been hit by a truck every day, I've started using anabolic supplements. They're just proper, no BS supplements, and Nutrition Warehouse has their Anabolics weekend coming up where you can save 30% on anabolics products, and if you spend over $50, you get a free can of Freaked Energy drink. You can get early online access from Thursday the 19th of February, or if you're more of an in-store or online guy, Friday the 20th to Sunday the 22nd, that's where you'll find your savings. If you're training, lifting, boxing, or just want to feel a little bit less broken like myself, now's the time to jump on board with anabolic supplements and Nutrition Warehouse. I appreciate you all. Let's get back to the pod.
So your boy got his STD check back. I ain't got shit. I'm clean, motherfucker. Yeah.
Oh, it's the kid getting words. Podcast on blast, giving you the real talk, no holding back. Can't get any worse, we'll make you see. There's always a silver lining. We'll set you free, so join the movement. Let's change the game with the Can't Get Any Worse podcast.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Can't Get Any Worse podcast. How are we all today? I hope we're all well. My God, does it feel good to be back in the studio and just peppering your ear holes with my stupid, dumb voice. And we're going to get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. But before we do, what the fuck was this bloke on about?
So your boy got his STD check back. I ain't got shit. I'm clean, motherfucker. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I don't know about you guys, but I demand a retest. There is no way that guy is fucking clean. Do not come near me, champ. Anyway, let's rip right in. What a fucking week it has been. My Lord. Let's kick it all off. Nikita and I went away on the weekend. First time in fucking ages. I know. Normally I'm the jet-setting princess, flying all over Australia, doing comedy, doing podcasts, all the gear. And you know what? This time I was like, why don't I take my beautiful queen Nikita with me? Little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. A little bit of column B, I might tell you, is 2 years ago, I bought her tickets to go and see Dracula's down the Gold Coast, okay? For those of you that aren't familiar with the Gold Coast nightlife, Dracula's is like a comedy cabaret type show kind of thing, okay? Pretty sick. We went once before when we first started dating back in I don't know, must have been around 2010, 2011, somewhere around there. And for the longest time, she was like, I want to go again. So I was like, oh, I'll buy her tickets for her birthday. And then she never used them. So for Christmas, I was like, fuck, what can I get her? I'm trying to think of things. And I was like, you know what? If I buy us a night down the coast at a nice fucking hotel, she'll have no other choice than to use her Dracula's vouchers. So I go all out, right? I'm looking at hotels. Jesus Christ. When did the price of hotels down the Gold Coast go up, by the way? Insane. I remember when you could stay down the Gold Coast for like $60 a night. Those were the days. Anyway, I end up looking and they're all around the same price. They're all like, I don't know, $380 for one night. And I'm like, fuck my life. So I'm looking, and it was only like $20 more. I think they had some deal on, but there's the Dorset Hotel, I think it's called, down the coast, down at Broadbeach. Closest hotel you can get to Dracula's. Fancy as fuck. And also, it's like connected to the Star Casino in some way. So you got to use all the Star Casino facilities. Not that we really did anyway. But regardless, it was a nice hotel, blah, blah, blah. But as I mentioned, this place is fancy as fuck. And I don't know if you guys have realized from listening to this podcast, I'm not exactly the fanciest cat out there. You know what I mean? I'm a pretty generic male, if that's if that's the right way to put it. Anyway, we get there, and straight away, panic sets in because I forgot my fucking wallet, didn't I? I thought I had it. I went back inside for like 6 things. Surely one of those 6 things was a wallet, right? Drive all the way down the coast in peak hour traffic. Get there, and I don't realize I don't have my wallet until we've parked in the casino car park. And I've gone, oh shit, I don't have my wallet. And Nikita's gone, what do you mean you don't have your wallet? Now, I'm the type of guy, I never leave the front door without my hat, my sunnies, my phone, my headphones, and my wallet. I do like a 10-point check before I walk out that front door. I don't know what was going on Friday afternoon, but I've missed one of those checks, okay? I would have failed fucking my TAFE lesson if I was getting tested on it. So I'm down there, panic mode sets in because I know you need photo ID to check into a hotel, right? They've got to scan that bad boy. So straight away, I get the cogs ticking. I'm like, James, how can you lie your way out of this? Think. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just see how we go. So I go to the counter. First question they ask, hello, sir. Do you have some photo identification that we can scan on record? And I've gone, here's the crazy thing about that. My wallet got stolen yesterday and I've ordered a new one. And she goes, oh, no. Well, we need photo ID. And I go, well, can you use my wife's? And they go, oh, no, it's got to be yours because you're the booking name. And I've gone, oh, shit. And I go, would a photo be okay? Because in my head, I'm like, surely I've got a photo on my phone from some stupid form or something I've filled out over the years. She goes, yeah, we could probably do that. And I've gone, oh, thank you, Jesus. So I scroll back, find a photo of my license. We get in. And once that debacle happened, I start looking around. This place, we do not belong, okay? I had Crocs on. I was the only person there that didn't have like a button-up shirt on. This is the only thing in my head that I was thinking, okay? I was like, I hope all these rich people are just looking at me and just going, oh, look at this dickhead fucking DJ or something here to DJ on the Gold Coast for the night. That was my only saving grace. I wanted them to think that I was some like D-grade celebrity. I mean, technically I'm like a Y-grade celebrity with this podcast, but I didn't want to start like airdropping the podcast to people in the lobby and just be like, hey, guys, come on. I've got the 694th most successful podcast in Logan. I don't know if you know who you're dealing with right now. But straight away, like my cabinet making knowledge kicks in and I'm looking around. I'm like, how expensive is this place, right? So I'm looking at the reception we're checking in at. If I had to quote one of these receptions, upwards of maybe 40 grand, okay? They are solid stone. Every edge on it is on a different angle and shit like that. Like complete masterpieces. And they had 5 of these. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. Anyway, we get in. They give us the ticket, the fucking card thing. We go all the way up. And the whole way through the hotel, I'm like, what are we doing here? We do not belong. I was waiting for like security to come and drag us out thinking we're imposters. And when we got to the room, it was no better. I did feel like even more of an imposter because we walk in to the room, absolutely incredible room, right? The whole fucking outside of the room was windows just overlooking the coast. Unreal. And we walk in and there's a little table. It's got a bottle of wine, chocolates, fucking chips, lollies, the works. I'm like, oh, not too bad staying at fancy hotels. This must be what they do for all their guests, right? And Nikita strolls over to it. She sees a little card on it. She picks it up and it's a handwritten card saying, happy birthday, blah, 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 blah. We hope you enjoy your stay at the Dorset Hotel. And I start sweating because it's neither one of our birthdays. And I did not write on like the information thing when you check in, like, oh, it's my wife's birthday. Can you fucking surprise us or something like that? Because that's what Nikita thought. She's like, did you fucking say it's like my birthday or something? I'm like, no, I am no part in this. And the only thing that I could think while I was hammering down this chocolate and chips, someone's having the worst birthday of their life, you know what I mean? Because they got to their room to absolutely nothing. And there's some fat dude 5 doors down just hammering their little treats. So I hope the hotel hooked them up with some apology chocolates or something like that. But yeah, it was fucking crazy things. But on the drive down there, right? Now, let's, you know what? Let's not tiptoe around this story. Let's hit it how it is. But before we do, let's crack my delicious can of Celsius. Oh, yeah, that was a good crack, guys. Taking a little sip. All right. So on Friday, the kids were having a sleepover at mum's, right, while we went down there. So we wait for mum to finish work, and it was like 3:30 or something, right, by the time we got off. And, of course, anyone that travels the M1, horrendous traffic from about 2 p.m. till, I don't know, 5:30, 6 o'clock. And Nikita jumps on maps as soon as we get in the car, And she goes, oh, it's saying an hour, 15 minutes. And I'm like, oh, fuck, there must be a bit of traffic. Because usually we can get down there in like 40, 45 minutes, right? And I'm like, oh, well, it is what it is. We'll just cruise down there. What happened next, ladies and gentlemen, took me by surprise, okay? Now, you guys know I come on this podcast. I paint my wife and my kids in just such a good light, okay? Sometimes things happen where I just cannot stick up for them, and this is one of those moments. So as I said, we're leaving mum's. Nikita jumps on maps, hour 15. I'm like, it's all good, babe. Let's go. We're driving. Now, I would like to say that we've been driving for an estimated time of about 5 minutes, okay? Simple. Nikita gets bored in the car and she goes, oh, I'm going to map it again, see how traffic's looking. And I've gone, okay, I don't think it would have changed much. She gets on maps, types in the hotel again, hits go. She goes, oh, yes, it's way quicker now. Traffic must be dying down. And I'm like, oh, okay, what's it saying? And she goes, oh, it's only an hour 10 now. And I've looked at her and she's looked at me in confusion and I've gone, yeah, that makes sense. And she's gone, what do you mean? And she goes, it's way quicker now. Traffic must have died down. And I've gone, it said an hour 15, right? Now it's saying 5 minutes later, an hour 10. And she goes, yeah, so it's quicker. And I've gone, well, I'm not sure if you realize how time works, time and distance, but we've traveled 5 minutes, hence the shaving of 5 minutes off the time. And when I outlaid this to her, just so simply, the look in her face was just pure disappointment in herself. We both started laughing nonstop. And you know what she said to me then? She goes, babe, whatever you do not put this on the podcast this week. And I said, I can't make any promises, okay? Is it one of my first stories of the week? Yes, it is. Do I think it deserves a bit of airtime? Yes, I do, because it is the craziest fucking thing I've heard in a long time. But anyway, back to the hotel, right? Sorry, I'm jumping all over the shop. Try and keep up. You guys should try being my brain right now. But after we checked into the room and stuff, we were both feeling a little bit peckish. And like Dracula's was in a few hours. So we're like, let's just go down to the little hotel cafe, get like a muffin or a toasted sandwich or something to get us through. And I noticed this on check-in, right, at the reception. I don't know if it's in the employment contract of this hotel that everyone has to put on a fake accent. But everyone there just seemed to be like French or Italian or some sort of like European accent, right? And straight away I picked it. I'm like, I don't think any of you guys are from Europe, if I'm being completely honest. And it only came out in the wash when we got to the cafe. This bloke behind the counter, he rubbed me the wrong way straight away, okay? He was just that fake over-the-top happy, and I was like, mate, no one can be this happy. And he starts taking our order in a French accent. And I'm like, that's... I don't think that's your real accent, buddy. But hey, I didn't want to go casting aspersions or whatever it is. What's that fucking word? I don't know, but let's move on. Anyway, so this dude takes our order. We go sit down, and I'm still observing the room, as I do. Now, this guy had a lady with him that he seemed to be training, if I had to take a guess. And I hear him talking to her in a thick Australian accent, his normal voice. I fucking picked it. Why the fuck would this hotel make them speak to you in with an accent? Like, does it make you feel fancier or something? Does it make you feel good to like order from people from another nation? It blew my fucking mind. But that's not where this guy rubbed me up only the wrong way, okay? Because our muffins and sandwich or whatever we got were now ready for delivery to our table. He walks over, drops them, and he goes, is the muffin for the lady? And I've gone, nah, mate, I'm having the muffin. And he goes, ooh, okay, big boy. And I've gone, all right, ease up, champ. Anyway, this still isn't where he rubbed me the wrong way, okay? This is how it rubbed me the wrong way. He drops the plates on the fucking table, and then he goes, I hope you guys enjoy your meal. And instead of turning around to walk all the way back to the bar, he proceeds to power walk backwards. It fucking did my head in. I was like, why are you doing this? Why are you still staring at me when you're fucking 10 meters away from me? Oh, God, it rubbed me the wrong way. Anyway, the only thing I could picture the whole time he was doing it was fucking Backwards Man from Freddy Got Fingered. So I'm sitting there trying to enjoy my muffin, but in my head, I'm just watching this fake French dude speed walk backwards just going backwards man to backwards man. I can walk backwards fast as you can. Oh, God, what a fucking idiot. Other than that, guys, hotel, not too bad. I'd recommend it. Other than those few little things. But let's get on to the piece. Still fucking, why am I using words today that I don't know how to pronounce? Piece de la resistance? No. What the fuck was that? Piece. I'm just going to drop it. You guys know what I mean. The fucking, the pinnacle of the night, if you will. We go to Dracula's. Anyone that hasn't been to Dracula's before, I explained it earlier, but basically you get there, you show your ticket, you walk in, they put you in this little room, and you're just there with everyone, and they just play this video on the roof. The room's shaking, there's fucking air blowing out of everywhere, trying to scare you, just trying to make you think the room's possessed, right? And everyone's getting a little bit scared, everyone's having some laughs, and then it's like, okay, come through if you dare. So, of course, we have to go because the fucking other door's shut, so where else are we going to go? So, we walk in, and the first thing you got to do to get to the theatre is go on this stupid little train ride. And as I said, Nikita and I have been on it before. We pretty much knew what to expect. It's just a whole heap of scary statues, people jumping out at you, like scaring you, fucking water, air, everything, the works, right? And everyone in the line was in good spirits. Everyone's joking. You're making friends with the people in front of you and behind. Like, we had this old bloke in front of us. He probably would have been in his 70s, and he just enjoyed scaring the fuck out of his wife. The whole, like, every step would take, he'd tap her on the shoulder. Should get just as scared every time. Oh, God. Now, that is comedy. Anyway, it's good spirits in there. Like I said, everyone's having fun. All of a sudden, this girl and, like, 3 of her mates just start walking back through the line, okay? So they must have been up the front, and they've obviously got too scared or whatever. So they're like, nah, we're not going to do it. We're going to go some back way up to the theatre or something. And old mate in front of us, right? The kind old man that's been making this so much fun for us all just looks at her and he goes, oh, a bit too scary for you, is it, love? And he giggles. Now this chick snapped and she puts on her best Jamaican private school girl voice and she goes, yeah, well, I've got PTSD, so it is actually quite scary for me, so it's not really funny. My God, did it kill the room? Jesus Christ. I get it. We're all dealing with shit, but here's a little tip to anyone going to Dracula's. It's all fake, okay? I don't know if you guys realize this. It's all fake. And don't get me wrong. I'm sure we've all got a bit of PTSD, you know what I mean? Some of us sitting in this chair right now have been through a home invasion. And do I get a little bit nervous every time someone knocks at my door now? Sure. But would I not go on the haunted ride because of it? Probably not, okay? But anyway, we get to the Dracula show. And actually on the train, right? Look, I did just paint a picture of I'm a big strong man, right? You guys put me on stage. You guys put me in a fucking boxing ring. You guys put me anywhere. Sure, there'll be a little bit of nerves, right? But I'll overcome it. I'll be fine. You guys put me on a haunted train ride. Sure, I might play it tough the whole way up, but as soon as that train starts moving, I turn into a little bitch. My God. And here's another little tip for you guys. They got cameras in there and they replay the photos for the whole theatre to watch during intermissions and shit like that. God, it was fucking embarrassing. But anyway, I think that's about it. Like, Dracula, the show, it was okay. I didn't really enjoy it. The seating was shit. Like, our table, Nikita had prime view, but my back was to the stage. So I had to do that, like, awkward shuffle with my chair to, like, be able to see anything. Just felt like I was a burden on everyone. But anyway, then the show starts and, yeah, is what it is. If you're into that sort of shit, you'd probably enjoy it. I didn't really enjoy it, and the food was fucked. But anyway, that's enough ranting. Let's snap out of this with another turns out it can get worse clip before we get on to my usual week. Where is this bloke?
Calling all throat goats. You know the ones that they be choking and coughing and wheezing, spitting. Yeah, if you're a throat goat, if you can eat it, if you're a professional expert eater, I think I might have 200 for you.
200. Guys, we all know I could go with $200 right now. I might suck off that black dude with speed dealer sunglasses on. just for $200. I mean, we all know that I'm fucking desperate at the moment. 1 second. I'm at a crossroads, guys. My dog is scratching at the back door. Do I get up and let her out, or do I clean up a mess after the oh, no, she's back. Bailey, you good? She's all good, guys. She's looking at me with that silly Dalmatian look on her face. Anyway, let's get onto a few kids' stories. I picked Parker up from prep the other day, jumps in the ute. I go, how was your day, buddy? He goes, yeah, good. I made 2 new best friends. And I've gone, oh my God, my heart. I'm so happy for you. I go, that's great. I go, what's their names? And he goes, oh, I don't really remember their names. I only know what was on their name tags. And straight away I was like, I'm not sure if you know how name tags work, but typically the name on the name tag is their name. And I go, oh, okay, well, what did their name tag say? And he goes, oh, I don't remember one of them, but the other one was BIAKE. And I've thought about it and I'm like, that's not a name. And then I go, oh, okay, it's all in capital letters, okay? Maybe Parker doesn't know his capitals from lowercase yet. Simple, the I is an L. And I go, oh, okay, is his name Blake? And he goes, no, it's not an L, it's an I. And I've gone, oh, okay, well, BIAKE isn't a name. BIAKE sounds like some of those porn videos your dad watches, commonly referred to a bukkake. So I highly doubt this kid's name is a BIAKE, okay? Oh my God. And he goes, no, it's not Blake. And I go, well, it's definitely not BIAKE. I go, do you think this kid's parents like went to IKEA one day and they just read a fucking name on an IKEA piece of furniture that said BIAKE and they're like, that is going to be my son's name. My Lord. So to this day, this kid's name is still BIAKE. It could be the fucking name. I could go to the first like school event and they're like, welcome on stage, BIAKE. Oh my God. Will you guys hear about it if that fucking happens? But stay tuned for where that one gets to. Anyway, another day last week. I don't know why I make these promises. You know, as a parent, when you make these promises and then it comes to like the time and you're like, fuck, I forgot I said that. But anyway, last weekend, Westy goes, can you take us to the skate park after school one day next week? And I've gone, oh, okay. I looked at my fucking calendar and I'm like, Wednesday afternoon. We can do Wednesday. He goes, okay. Sure enough, pick him up from school. The ute door didn't even shut before he goes, all right, did you put my bike in the back? Are we going straight to the skate park? And I've gone, fuck. I go, no, we've got to go home first and get it all. Then we'll go to the skate park. So we go home, we load up the scooters and bikes and whatever else they wanted to take. And we get to the skate park. We got there, I don't know, must have been about 3:15 or something. So at this stage, it was relatively empty because I was trying to talk them out of it. I'm like, look, everyone's going to fucking be there after school. It's going to be packed. We get there, there's like no one there. I'm like, fuck my life. Anyway, they start riding around. And about 10 minutes into this, right, all the school kids start coming and everyone's playing relatively nice until this one Beanley demon child rocks up. And this kid is like a pure menace. He's doing everything bad. He's running into people on his bike. He's running up behind people, tapping them on the helmet and shit like that, just causing an entire ruckus. Now, there's a dirt track opposite the skate park. So Westy goes, oh, like I could tell Westy was starting to get uncomfortable because he was like, I don't want this kid to come and fuck with me. And I was like, if he comes and fucks with you, then I'll get involved. And I don't know. We don't all want to see what a 33-year-old comedian can do to a fucking 12-year-old Beanley bogan, okay? Would I roast this kid in front of all his friends? Yeah, probably. God, the things I could say to this kid. I was a fucking pinnacle roaster at school. You had fucking red hair. You had a funny name. You had a weird last name. Oh, God, you were my target. You know what I mean? I would love to go back to those days. And this kid was fucking testing me. But anyway, I'm like, all right, let's go. I could tell he was uncomfortable. So we go over there for like 15 minutes and Parker couldn't ride his scooter on the dirt tracks. So I'm like, Westy, we've got to go back over there so P can ride as well. And we go back over. And at this stage, there's a few more parents involved, okay? And I'm looking at this kid. He has now switched modes to, he's not fucking with kids anymore. He's fucking with these parents because these parents have got involved and they're like, hey, stop picking on all the kids here, or we'll call the police, or we'll try find your parents or something like that. This kid could not give less of a fuck, okay? He just starts like donking the parents on the head and running away laughing and shit like that. And they can't do anything. They can't hurt a little kid. They might not be the roasting experts, such as myself. So they're just copying it and yelling at this kid even louder. And then I just started to think like, wow, what if I did get involved before all these people rocked up and this kid just fucking annihilated me in front of all these kids? Like I'm yelling at this kid and in my brain, one of his friends just runs up behind me and just dacks me or something. All of a sudden, I'm trying to roast this guy with a tiny penis in the middle of the Beanley skate park. I'd have nothing, okay? And then I'm just look back and my two sons would just be standing there staring at me going, wow, thanks for embarrassing us, Dad. There goes my X Games career. Like, could you imagine that? Say Westy does stick to this whole BMX thing. He finally makes it big. He makes it to the X Games one day. They do his announcement. They're like, oh, on the ramp now is Weston Misson. And then the camera pans over to me and Nikita. We're in the crowd cheering. And then they're like, wait a minute. Isn't that the guy that got dacked at Beanley Skate Park and his small, tiny penis was just on show for everyone? Oh, God. I'd fuck up his career before it even got started. So I'm kind of glad I didn't get involved, guys. I'm glad I just let that one go. But speaking about Westy being a professional accent? What am I talking about? Athlete. Westy being a professional athlete. It dawned on me this week. Westy's basketball season is back in. He played his second game on the weekend. Now, this is his third year playing basketball, I think. And when he first started, he was obviously shy, didn't really want to get too involved, barely got the ball, barely made any shots. And my mum stepped in and she goes, hey, Westy, every basket you score, I'll give you $50. Obviously a pretty safe bet back then, you know what I mean? And so every now and then he'd get a basket, he'd get $50. He'd be on top of the world. He'd be like, this is the sickest thing ever. Now, obviously he's gotten a little bit older, a little bit more confident on the court. He's probably one of the better players this season, if I had to say. Like, there's him and another kid that just sort of dominate the team. Anyway, we're sitting there watching him on Saturday, and Westy proceeds to get 4 baskets in this game. And I've looked over at Mum and realised she's got to fork out $200 for this kid, because although his skill level and confidence has gotten higher, that $50 rate has never dropped, okay? At this stage, Westy could quit school and just find like some underground basketball league, okay, and become a professional basketball player. He could start eclipsing LeBron James in terms of turnover playing basketball every year. I'm thinking about quitting my job and just becoming his manager, just taking a 10% cut off every game, just fucking on the sidelines every game with my little spreadsheet going, Westy, we need fucking 3 more baskets this game to pay fucking mortgage this week, you know what I mean? Pull it out of the fire, champ. My Lord. But, we got another turns out it can get worse clip. Let's drag this lovely lady across. She got to say to us all today.
When you come back to my house, which is Freedom's house, there's going to be beer, cigarettes, and a makeshift bong because my bong cracked, an empty bag of weed that I want you to go purchase at the store with a bong. And I want you to come back and smell my hair. Pre-washed or not, cocaine.
What the fuck? Look, I know I said that story about that bogan kid at Beanley Skate Park. I think we just found his mum, everyone. My God. Anyone want to go buy that lady some weed and go back and smell her hair? Shoot me a DM. I'll send you her fucking account name. But I'm going to take another sip before I get into this next one. My Lord. So I'm going to start this next story off. Might sound a little bit weird, but God, I wish I had $1 million and a giant dick. Okay. Weird way to start a story. I understand that. But I am starting to think that this podcast is cursed. I don't know about you guys. It seems that every now and then I come on here, I say stories, and they just come to reality. Now, cast your mind back to last week's episode. I told a fun little story about the gym, my gay experience at the gym. And in that same story, I mentioned my old gym friend that I hadn't seen in months. He's just vanished off the face of the earth. Podcast comes out Tuesday morning. I go to gym. Who do I see walk into the gym directly after me? My old gym friend. What the fuck? Where did you come from? You know what I mean? I'm starting to think that this podcast is like a magical genie lamp, and me coming on here telling stories is similar to like rubbing the side of the lamp. Why is this guy at my gym? You know what I mean? So that's why I started the story like this, because I'm hoping next week I come sit on this couch. I can't even sit down because my dick's so big and there's just mountains of money behind me. So come on, Magic Genie Lamp. Let's make some good dreams come true. But, oh God. So next story, I've mentioned, should I stop doing that? Should I stop saying fucking next story and just segue them properly? I probably should, shouldn't I? Just some on-air thinking. Let me know what you guys think. Shoot me a DM. Anyway, we all know Nikita. In her childhood, she didn't exactly develop much street knowledge, okay? And that's a big reason why I'm okay with the kids being out the front, because that's where I learnt a lot of my shit. Just being out on the street. Sometimes you see some cool shit, and sometimes you see some shit where it's like, okay, something bad's happening over there, and for my own health and safety, I'm staying away from that. And look, every now and then you do get tangled up with a crowd and you get yourself in a situation and you just got to get yourself back out of it, okay? Now, a big thing, obviously we all know, and I've mentioned it on this podcast, I live in Logan. Logan is known for crime, drugs, fucking all the no-no shit, all right? So when you're like a 12-year-old boy or something, you're riding your bike around in fucking different suburbs with your mates and stuff, you might start to develop a knack, if you will, of side-of-the-road drug deals. And I reckon I could pick maybe 8 out of 10 drug deals going down. So Nikita and I were driving the other day. We're cruising through Beanley, and we see on the side of the road there is a car parked weirdly, okay? The only way to describe it. And leaning in the driver's side window is typical crackhead looking bloke. He's got his bum bag on, probably full of gear. And in his other hand, he's got a Chihuahua, just a cute little dog just sitting there with its head through the window as well. And I said to Nikita, I'm like, drug deal. And she goes, no, it's not. And I've gone, I bet you it's a fucking drug deal happening right now. And she goes, how would you even guess that? And I've gone, well, look at the way the guy's leaning in the car. Look at the way the car's parked. Look at the way the passenger's leaning over. I'm like, see how they're like moving, but they're not clearly like exchanging things. I'm like, they're just doing small little natural motions, things like that. Money and drugs are clearly changing hands right now. It's just it's a big magic trick. It's sleight of hand, okay? You got to pick this shit. And she goes, no, you're fucking lying. And I've gone, okay, if you don't want to believe that that's a cocaine Chihuahua, that's on you, you know what I mean? And that's when the cogs started turning in my head again. I'm like, you know what? If she doesn't want to believe me, let's have some fun with this. And I go, no, it's definitely a drug deal. And she goes, okay, what are they doing then? And I go, see the Chihuahua? She goes, yeah. I go, its poor little mouth is just wedged full of drugs. And she goes, oh my God, really? I've gone, yep, that's what they do. They get these small little unsuspecting dogs, just cram a heap of drugs in their mouth, and then the dog leans in the window and it just drops all the shit on the driver's side door. The guy puts the money back in the Chihuahua's mouth, and then they just proceed with their day. And she's gone, wow, I didn't even know that was happening on the streets. And I've gone, wow, you've heard of drug mules, but have you heard of a cocaine Chihuahua? I don't think so. And she instantly believed me. She just bought in. She's like, oh, God, I feel so bad for that Chihuahua. Just zero follow-up questions, just full 100% belief. And then I just started to think like, hey, maybe we could get away with this. Maybe this could be my new career path. You know what I mean? I could just be a dog-dealing drug dealer. No, a drug-dealing dog. I don't know. I could have a drug-dealing Dalmatian. That'd be pretty sick. Just 101 drug-dealing Dalmatians. Disney. You're welcome. Write a fucking movie about it. But is this my last story before we rip into? Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's touch on it, guys. So, for the last probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks, my God, has the fucking stress and pressure and everything just got to me, okay? And because of that, the migraines are back. I used to get fucking bad migraines all the time, and then they eventually went away. Like, I got them to the point where I tried all the medications. I got these little, like, wafer things that you'd put on your tongue that dissolve, and then, like, an hour later or something, the migraine would go away. If those didn't work, I'd have to go to the doctor and get like a needle in my ass. I don't know what was in the needle, but something in it just fucking made the migraine go away. They just, like, the needle just makes you pass out basically and sleep the migraine off. So I've probably had maybe 3 migraines over the last 3 weeks, which is insane odds compared to the last few years where I might have been lucky to get 1 a year over the last couple of years, right? And I got a bad one on Thursday, the day of my raw heat at Sit Down Comedy Club, and I was like, worst fucking day for it. So I end up leaving work early, come home, and Nikita's doing all the things for me that, like, sometimes help. She's fucking massaging my back and neck. She's rubbing deep heat in. She's like got all the sprays happening, all the medications, alternating heat packs, ice packs, putting my feet in freezing cold water to hot water, the works, right? And this thing was just not budging. It was in for the long haul. And I was like, this sucks. But eventually it got to the point around, I don't know, 6:30, 7 o'clock maybe, where I was like, it's as good as it's going to get. I've got to drive in and do Raw, which we'll touch on in my week in comedy. But on the back of all this fucking migraine chat and things like that, I've done a lot of reflecting, if you will, over the last few weeks. And I think I was just at that point where I have well and truly bitten off more than I can chew. So what I've done is I've sat down and I've made an assessment of everything I'm trying to juggle at the moment. And, basically had to decide what's got to give. So also on top of this, I've had to pick up more hours at work because I'm a broke piece of shit and we need money. So that's definitely not helping. But anyway, so I sat down. First thing to go was the undisclosed boxing event videos that I was doing every week. Yes, I was working out anyway, but just the whole hassle of setting up the camera, recording it all, editing it all, fucking posting it all, blah, blah, blah. It was just another stress that I didn't need. So I was like, okay, if something's got to go, that can fucking go out the window, because we all know I was trying to do it for the podcast Royale. All reports, the card's finalised. I didn't get on. Is what it is. There's always next year, you know what I mean? So when I found out the card was full, I sort of switched my viewing. My viewing? I don't fucking know. I switched my thought process and I was like, okay, I've been training, still want to fight. Where can I go? Hit up my good mate, Uncle Dan from the IBC. Now, is an IBC fight the first fight that you ever want to do? No, but would it be fucking sick to jump in the cage? Like, it's everything about fighting that I like, right? You're just small gloves, you're in a cage, and you're just fucking swinging for the fences. And I was like, okay, let's hit up Uncle Dan, hit him up. We go back and forth a little bit. He starts, like, it all started off, he thought I was joking. Can't fucking blame the bloke. And then I said, look, as far as I'm aware, the IBC heavyweight title is still up for grabs. I go, that's the goal. And he goes, oh, wow, you are serious. So that's when I put that video up and I was like, news dropping soon, because I was like, I'm going to lock in an IBC fight. Now, IBC on the Gold Coast is in 4 weeks. Clearly, that card's wrapped up as well. I'm not going to get there unless somebody drops out. Who fucking knows? But I was like, okay, is what it is. We haven't locked anything in there. Maybe an IBC some stage this year, but nothing's locked in there. And then I was just like, okay, well, that's the first thing to go, right? I'm going to stop doing those videos. Still going to work out and all that sort of shit, but that's going to lighten the load a little bit. Now, the next thing that I sat down and realised, I've done a bit of an assessment. Now, the end of last year and this year, like, this is one that I'll need your guys' opinion on. So I might put a poll up this week or something on Instagram, or fucking get you guys to DM me. Who knows? But the next thing I'm probably going to drop for a little bit is the guest episodes. Now, reason A, there's so much fucking work, right? To be able to lock in someone to come here or I go to them, time frames and all that work out, that's a whole other kettle of fish, right? But then I stood back and it actually blew my mind. This literally blew my mind. Every guest episode that I've done has done less downloads than my solo episodes. And I'm like, how does that even work? Because surely you're getting some of their followers and shit to jump over and listen to what they say. And then surely I've got my listeners and stuff that would jump on and listen to it anyway. So I don't know how that's all panned out, but it just blew my mind that I'm putting all this time and effort into guests and shit, and it's not really working out how I thought it would work out. So are the guest episodes going forever? No, definitely not. But again, in the last 3 weeks or so, the amount of guests that have dropped out or rescheduled or just all that other shit, it's just like, fuck it. Like, why? If a guest hits me up and they want to come sit on the couch and it works out time frame for both of us, sure, let's do it. But yeah, for the foreseeable future, if a guest episode drops on a Thursday, happy days. If there's a week where there's no guest episode, is what it is. I'm just taking that pressure off, and hopefully you guys are all sweet with that. And then on the back of all that, right, sort of sat down, recentered myself, and I go, what is the fucking grand plan? And the grand plan has always been stand-up. That has been the reason why I've started all this shit. And you know what's taken the biggest hit over the last probably easily 6 to 8 months, maybe even longer? Stand-up. I've just been so inconsistent with booking gigs, haven't written a new bit in the fucking longest time. I barely write anymore, you know what I mean? And I was like, fuck it, let's start peeling back everything else and just get right back into stand-up. And that's the end goal. So that's what we need to put all our fucking time and effort into. So all the time and effort I'll be saving on guests and boxing videos and all that sort of shit. Like, I think I was just trying to pick up too many side quests, if that makes sense, instead of focusing on the grand picture of where I want to be. So over the next, I don't know, it's probably going to take me a month or two to build back up to where I was of just consistently writing, consistently booking like 3 gigs a week, all that sort of shit. So, and just forcing myself to like try the new material at gigs. Like, even when I was writing shit, I'll just get to a gig and be like, oh, let's play it safe. Not running any new gear tonight. And I just got to get out of that mindset as well. So comedy's the goal. Fucking off a couple of side quests. That's basically where we're at. So before I crack into my week in comedy, let's play our last Turns Out It Can Get Worse clip.
Saving this video for when I'm fucking rich. I swear to God, Lily. I swear to God, I'm gonna give you the best fucking life possible. No more of this fucking trailer trash bullshit. You're gonna live like a fucking princess. I'm gonna watch this video every single fucking day until it's true.
So that's basically the video that I recorded before I came and made that previous announcement. My God, do I relate to that guy so hard? Yes, I do. If manifestation works, then my God, I am going to be the biggest comedian in the world. I think I just need to go and record myself crying into the phone going, Nikita, I'm going to give you the life you deserve. Oh, God. Poor bloke. I feel bad. Anyway, my week in comedy, let's have a sip of Celsius and then we'll crack right in. Let's kick it off. I had my raw heat at Sit Down Comedy Club on Thursday night. So as I mentioned, I was peak migraine. I was just not in the mood for it. And a big thing of it is, as I've said a million times on the podcast before, I hate the whole competition aspect of stand-up comedy. It's crazy that like people can get through these competitions. You put them on like a gig with, put them and me on the same gig at a bar down the Gold Coast or something, and we'll see who fucking strives their way to success on that night. You know what I mean? Instead of like the perfect stage, the perfect competition, the perfect environment. I'm not really there for it, okay? And will this probably get me in the bad books with the competition holders and things like that. Yeah, probably. But a big part of it with on top of the migraine, I was just not fucking keen to go and be part of it, okay? There is something about this Raw competition. It just pulls out crazy people out of the environment and they're like, hey, we'll give stand-up comedy a crack. And it's like, wow, some of the characters you meet, it's fucking wild. So I get to the gig just disheartened, not wanting to be there, to be honest. Stroll up there and straight away the green room's full of like maybe, and again, let me preface this. If anyone that was there on Thursday nights listening to this, I by no means mean anything bad by anything I'm going to say, okay? I was in the exact same boat. I thought like I had the glimmer of light in my eyes back then and I was like, this is it. It's everything it's going to be, okay? But just being in that green room and there was 16 of us all up, okay? So by the time it was full, I think there was 3 people there that I see on a semi-regular basis doing comedy. The rest of them, it was all either their first time, they just do Raw once a year because they're like, that's the Brisbane comedy scene. You can only do Raw once a year. So it was just full of people that don't really do comedy. And again, that's not a jab or anything, but and they're just sitting in the green room, they're throwing around bits and shit like that. And don't get me wrong, it was cool. I'd love for the scene to actually be like that, like as happy and fun-loving as that green room was. But reality is it's not. And they were just throwing around bits and they were just like, and again, I was there. I used to think some shit was fucking going to be hilarious. You get on stage, you bomb and you go, okay, I need to reassess everything. And that's the exact conversations that were going around. They're all telling each other how funny they are. Oh my God, that bit's perfect. That's like ready for a special. And it's like, oh, and I ended up leaving the green room. I just went and sat out with the crowd because I was like, I cannot do this anymore. And the other thing is like, they're all there. They're at the start of their career, okay? They haven't been fucking punched down 1,000 times yet, just on the ground, just grasping for stage time, going, please, just give me some sort of like recognition or something. And I'd be sitting there and someone would be like, oh, how long have you been doing comedy? And I'm like, oh, 4 years. And the look they gave me was just like I was some sort of predator in the room. Like I was some sort of pedophile comedian just lurking on these young comedians. And I was like, oh, and like the look they were giving me as well was almost like, oh, wow, you've been doing this for 4 years and you're still a nobody? I was like, shut the fuck up, you know? Nobody said that, but it was, I could tell by the looks. Anyway, as soon as I got to the gig, and again, you guys know I don't like fucking saying this. You guys know I hate being cocky and arrogant and shit like that. But I more or less got to the gig and I was like, this feels like a waste of time. I already knew I was getting through to the final, to the semi-final, just with the people in my heat. And again, it sounds fucking shitty to say, but I was like, I don't really want to sit here all night. And they put the run sheet up and I was first. And I've gone, fuck my life. And I was like, that was the only part of like, I don't want to say stress, but the only part of like being uncomfortable I felt for the whole night. Because I was like, oh, I don't really want to go first. Like, it's my least favorite spot. Anyway, then I reconfigured my brain and I was like, you know what? This is actually the best spot to go because now I don't have to follow any of these other people that like put a bad taste in the crowd's mouth. I can just go up there, kick off the show, do my set, and fucking get out on a win, okay? And the set I did this year, this is the other crazy thing. I did not know what I was doing until I walked up on stage. I had a rough idea, but literally as I was walking on stage, I was like, my best bit is the dog bit, okay? Crushes everywhere I go. It's way too dirty for this competition though. So walking up to stage, I was like, how can I tidy up the back end? Because the back end finishes with Nikita fingering my ass and me coming everywhere, right? And I'm like, that's not going to air on the ABC. So I'm literally walking up to stage and I'm like trying to reconfigure the joke in my head, go on stage, do a tight 5 minutes, okay? I was stomping on laughs and the laughter was just rolling and rolling and rolling. And I was like, this is fucking sick, like crushed. And I got off stage, felt good. And when I got off, I was like, that set was probably the cleanest set whilst tiptoeing dirty gear I've ever fucking done. And I was like, I was stoked for that. Got off and then I had to sit there for another 2.5 hours while the rest of the show happened. I was like falling asleep and shit. I still had the headache and I was like, Jesus Christ. But anyway, they get to the end. They start calling out the semi-finalists. And guys, don't make a big deal about it. I'm not making a big deal about it. But are you looking at a 3-time Queensland semi-finalist Raw competition person? I don't fucking know. Yes, you are, okay? Again, don't make a big deal. It is what it is. But semi-final, that's where my peak is. I always get knocked out in the semi-final. I would like to think that it's based on my dirty gear. Maybe I'm just not as good of a comedian as I would like to think I am. But this year, I'm probably going to put a little bit more effort into the semi-final. I would love to get to at least the Queensland final. That would be a cool little feather in my cap. It's also the last year I can do it. So on one hand, I'm stoked that after this, it's all going to be out the window and I never have to worry about it again. On the other hand, would I love to just get that little title of Queensland Raw finalist? Sure I fucking would. But we'll see how it goes. I'll announce when my semi-final and shit like that is once I get sent the email with it all locking in. But yeah, let's get on to shit that I've consumed this week. This first one, technically haven't consumed it, but I would like to give a round of applause to Spotify real quick. Shout out Spotify, because for the last 12 months, they implemented this thing. A lot of podcasts are going video platform on Spotify. And when you watch a podcast on video, you can only watch it at 2 times speed. You guys are well aware, I listen to most of my podcasts at 3 times speed, sometimes even 3.5. And for the last 12 months, I haven't been able to do that on any podcasts that have been releasing video. And it just does my fucking head in, because a podcast that I was chewing through quickly now takes so much longer. And the fact that I logged onto my Spotify at the gym the other morning, went to put on a Rogan episode, and it offered me 3.5 speed. Oh my God, I was the happiest man in the world. Like to chew through a Rogan episode in like an hour, my God, I'm basically printing time at this stage, you know what I mean? I'm Nikita with a GPS. I'm reinventing how time works. The last thing that I watched, I don't even technically want to say that I watched it, because we only got 3/4 of the way through it, but we had a bit of a movie night on Saturday night. So we had the kids out in the lounge room, mattresses out, the works. We're flipping through movies, and in the horror section, there was a movie called Sketch, but it was rated PG and it was sold as like a kid's movie. You guys know Parker is obsessed with horror movies. Like he likes looking up like Freddy, Jason, fucking Stranger Things, It, like Pennywise, all that shit. Does not scare him. But there was something about this movie scared the fuck out of him. I don't know why. Like, I didn't find it scary at all, but he just could not watch it anymore. Gave him the heebie-jeebies. And so we got about 3/4 of the way through, and he's like, can we turn this off? And we're like, you're the boss. So I still don't know how it ends. Up until that 3/4 mark, wasn't too bad of a movie. Would I recommend it? Probably not. But if you're searching for something, got nothing else to put on, throw it on. It's not a bad watch, and it probably has a good ending if I ever get back to it. But things to plug this week. I've got actually that's tonight, so you guys can't get there, but got the Newmarket Hotel tonight for sit down. And Wednesday night, Wednesday the 11th, I'm back at the Brisbane Comedy Cellar. So come check that one out. As I said last week, cool little revamp of an old room. So yeah, should be another fun one. Other than that, guys, if you want to get in touch with me, send DMs on Instagram at Can't Get Any Worse Podcast, or shoot me an email at can'tgetanyworsepod@gmail.com. Finish up the episode. I think I say it every week, but genuinely just want to say I appreciate all you guys that come back and listen every single week, because, yeah, as I mentioned earlier in the episode, it's a rough spot at the moment, you know what I mean? And definitely not the podcast. Downloads are still good. But yeah, just trying to juggle everything. So I genuinely just want to say I appreciate you all you guys that just listen, like, share, rate, fucking all that type of shit. Thank you all so much. Hope you all have a ripper week, and I will see you later.